Accidents happen, even at work. It's what you do next that can make the difference.
Attorney Clair Campbell from Campbell & Associates is here to help guide us. Claire, good morning to you. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, Colleen.
All right, let's talk about this. I know a lot of people interested in this topic. What's the first thing you should do if you are hurt on the job?
If you're hurt on the job, the first thing to do is notify your employer. So many times people try to get through the workday hoping that they will get better or be able to sleep it off, and the next day happens and it might be a little bit worse, but their claim can be refused if there is not proper notice at the right time.
Okay, so tell your employer immediately, okay?
And probably the worst thing that can happen to us is we can sprain our tongue or something like that. We don't have a lot of, but there's a lot of people that have some pretty dangerous jobs out there. They really take a high risk. Are those people that have to carry more workers' comp insurance coverage?
Employers are assessed based on the type of work that's done. The premiums are assessed by the insurance carriers based on the number of employees and the type of work and the type of risk. Here, obviously, cables and cords and things like that, you can fall, trip, and knock yourself out.
I'm nervous at work every day. It's very dangerous. I put myself in harm's way every day. But in all seriousness, there are certainly concerns. I think, though, Claire, do people worry about getting fired if they file a claim?
North Carolina is an at-will state, and you can go to work at your will and be there at work. You can quit. Your employer can keep you there at their will. They can fire you, and work comp is no different. A lot of people are afraid, particularly in this economy, if they've got a job, they don't want to lose that job, so they might keep quiet about filing a claim they should file right when it happens. And there are ways to prevent a wrongful discharge. That's actually, part of the statute that says, employer, don't do a bad thing by retaliating against your employee if they file. And so there are things that we can look for.
Okay.
And while that protects the employee also, the employer needs to be protected as well.
And the employer's protected by certain safeguards. If the employee has manufactured the claim, for instance, they hurt themselves moving a refrigerator over the weekend but waited to come to work and pretend to do something that might hurt the back, usually what happens is they're going to be talking about that. There's going to be a witness. Employers are very savvy to have surveillance on those individuals, and that usually comes up.
Does every employer need to have workers' compensation coverage?
The law says if you have 3 or more employees, you absolutely have to have coverage. There are employers that violate that statute, so we have uninsured cases. It's rare, though.
But even if you have fewer employees than 3, it's probably still a good idea to cover it.
You can, but it's not required.
Okay. What benefits might someone be entitled to?
If you get hurt at work, the first thing that you're entitled to is medical care at your employer's expense. That includes prescriptions, that includes transportation to and from the doctor. If you're outside a certain geographical range, usually about 20 miles is what the statute says. If you have to drive a longer distance, they'll cover mileage. Typically, they'll cover some vocational rehab if they have to retrain you to get back to some type of job. And they will they'll pay 66% of your paycheck. They're not going to give you 100%, but while you're out on workers' comp, that paycheck isn't taxed. So there's a little bit of a savings there.
Does the injured worker get to choose his or her own doctor?
Unfortunately, no. The carrier, meaning the insurance company for your employer, has the right to select the treating physician. Now, the good thing is that along the way, if you really disagree as an employee with that physician, you've got someone else you would like to see, you can have a request to change treating physicians. You can also have a request for an independent opinion at the end of your care regarding the final disposition, what your rating is, if you're disabled permanently, or if there's some surgery that's going to take place, getting another opinion. The insurance company can do that too, because even though they've picked the doctor and sent you to somebody, they may not necessarily agree with what that doctor's suggesting. So both sides have a little bit of ability to go and question what the plan of action is going to be.
Okay.
Now, certainly in this day and age, there's a possibility for a lot of small business people are looking to cut costs wherever they can.
Yeah.
Is it possible that a small business is over-insured and is paying too much?
You can always over-insure, and I think in that situation an employer would want to quote out their coverage with another carrier, and that can happen. If there have been extra risks involved, that premium, just like our car insurance, is going to increase. So always quote it out, see what you're paying, and see whether it's a good thing.
Very good. Claire Campbell, thank you so much. You look beautiful today.
You're
too,
very
by
sweet.
The way. You look great. Campbell & Associates has locations in Charlotte, Gastonia, Hickory, and Rock Hill. You can call them at 704-333-0885. Again, 704-333-0885. You can also visit their website. It's injuryhelp.org, injuryhelp.org. Claire, thanks. We'll see you next time.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.